What if I told you that Princess Mononoke isn't actually a story about heroes versus villains? What if the most feared creature in the entire movie is trying to save the world, while the humans destroying nature aren't completely wrong either? Today, we're diving into one of the greatest anime films ever made. A story where giant wolves raise a human girl, ancient gods walk among mortals, and a cursed prince is forced to stop a war that could wipe out both humanity and nature. The deeper you look into this film, the more shocking it becomes. And trust me, the ending contains a message that most viewers completely miss. Stick around, because by the end, you'll see why this anime masterpiece still captivates audiences decades later. Our story begins in a peaceful, hidden village where Ashitaka, the last prince of his people, lives a quiet life protecting his community. He is skilled, honorable, and respected. But everything changes when a monstrous boar suddenly attacks the village. This isn't an ordinary beast. It's covered in a terrifying corruption that seems fueled by pure hatred. Ashitaka manages to defeat it, but in the process, he receives a curse on his arm. At first, the curse appears to grant him incredible strength, allowing him to perform superhuman feats. However, there is a terrible cost. The curse is slowly spreading through his body and will eventually kill him. Determined to find a cure and understand the source of the corruption, Ashitaka leaves his home forever and travels west. Along the way, he discovers a world in chaos where forests are shrinking, humans are expanding their industries, and ancient animal gods are preparing for war. During his journey, he encounters a mysterious young woman named San, better known as Princess Mononoke. Raised by wolves after being abandoned by humans, she despises humanity and has dedicated her life to protecting the forest. This meeting marks the beginning of an unforgettable conflict. As Ashitaka ventures deeper into the sacred forest, he discovers a world unlike anything he has ever seen. Massive trees tower overhead, while strange forest spirits quietly observe from the shadows. It is here that he encounters San. She moves alongside giant wolves as if she is one of them, because in many ways, she is. Adopted by the wolf goddess Moro, San no longer considers herself human. Instead, she sees herself as a defender of nature and an enemy of humanity. Everywhere she looks, humans are cutting down trees, destroying habitats, and pushing the forest closer to extinction. Her anger is understandable, and many viewers immediately sympathize with her cause. However, one of the film's greatest strengths is that it refuses to present the conflict in simple terms. Just when it seems obvious who the villains are, the story introduces a new perspective that changes everything. What if the people destroying the forest aren't evil at all? Ashitaka eventually arrives at Iron Town, a settlement built on industry and innovation. At first glance, it appears to be the source of all the forest's problems. Trees are being cut down to fuel production, weapons are being manufactured, and smoke rises into the sky. Naturally, it seems like this is where the villains live. However, the reality is far more complicated. Iron Town is led by Lady Eboshi, one of the most fascinating characters in anime history. Rather than being a cruel tyrant, she provides shelter for women who have escaped suffering and gives work to people who were once rejected by society. Under her leadership, Iron Town offers safety, opportunity, and hope. Suddenly, the audience is faced with a difficult question. If Lady Eboshi is helping people and improving lives, can she really be considered evil? This moral complexity is what makes Princess Mononoke so powerful. Nobody is entirely right, and nobody is entirely wrong. While San fights to protect nature, Lady Eboshi fights to improve human lives. Both believe they are defending what matters most. Meanwhile, Ashitaka finds himself caught between two worlds, refusing to choose sides and searching instead for peace. As tensions rise, the conflict expands beyond humans and wolves. The corruption that cursed Ashitaka is spreading among the animal gods themselves. Ancient boars, wolves, and other powerful creatures are becoming consumed by anger and despair. Soon, both humans and animals begin preparing for war. The cursed prince desperately tries to prevent bloodshed, but every attempt seems to fail. The hatred on both sides only grows stronger. During this time, Ashitaka's curse becomes a powerful symbol. Whenever violence erupts, the curse reacts, almost as if it feeds on the negativity surrounding him. It is a constant reminder that hatred spreads like a disease. At the same time, Son struggles with her identity. Although she rejects humanity, she can never fully escape the fact that she was born human. Her connection with Ashitaka becomes increasingly important because he understands both worlds better than anyone else. Rather than a traditional romance, their relationship represents the possibility of understanding and coexistence. Just when it seems the situation cannot get worse, a group of hunters arrives with a dangerous mission. They intend to kill the mysterious forest spirit. And that decision threatens to destroy everything. The forest spirit is one of the most mysterious and memorable beings in anime. By day, it appears as a serene creature wandering through the forest. By night, it transforms into a colossal divine presence, whose power extends over life and death itself. Wherever it walks, flowers bloom, creatures perish, and new life emerges. It represents the delicate balance of nature. Unfortunately, some humans see that power as something to be controlled. Determined to secure victory, hunters and soldiers launch an attack against the forest. Massive battles erupt as wolves, boars, and humans clash in an all-out war. The animation during these scenes remains breathtaking even today, with every frame emphasizing the scale of the conflict. Then, the unthinkable happens. The forest spirit is attacked, and the consequences are immediate. Nature itself begins to unravel. The balance that once sustained both humans and animals starts collapsing. Ashitaka realizes that unless enemies learn to cooperate, the destruction will consume everyone. But convincing people to abandon their hatred may be the hardest challenge of all. As the story races toward its conclusion, every major storyline collides. The curse, the war, the animal gods, the forest spirit, San and Lady Eboshi all become part of a desperate struggle to save the world from catastrophe. The stolen head of the forest spirit becomes the center of a frantic race against time, leading to some of the most visually stunning moments in the entire film. Landscapes transform, ancient powers awaken, and characters who once seemed unstoppable suddenly realize how insignificant they are compared to the forces of nature. Yet the greatest twist isn't an action sequence. It is the realization that true victory has never been about defeating an enemy. Instead, it is about ending the cycle of hatred that has fueled the conflict from the very beginning. While most fantasy stories ask who will win, Princess Mononoke asks what happens when everyone loses. The ending of Princess Mononoke focuses not on conquest, but on healing. Although the damage caused by the conflict cannot be completely undone, hope begins to return. The forest changes, the people change, and the possibility of coexistence emerges. One of the reasons the ending remains so powerful is that it avoids easy answers. The world is not magically fixed overnight, but the characters choose a better path forward. Fans have proposed many fascinating theories over the years. Some believe Ashitaka's curse symbolizes humanity's unchecked anger and greed. Others argue that the forest spirit is not a god in the traditional sense, but rather the embodiment of nature's balance. Another popular interpretation is that San and Ashitaka represent two essential perspectives that must work together if harmony is ever to be achieved. Hidden details throughout the film support these ideas, making each rewatch more rewarding than the last. Perhaps the most important lesson is that the movie never condemns progress itself. Instead, it warns that progress without respect for nature leads to disaster. And that is the incredible story of Princess Mononoke, A timeless anime masterpiece filled with unforgettable characters, breathtaking visuals, and profound themes that remain relevant today. It is a film that challenges audiences to think beyond simple ideas of good and evil while delivering an epic fantasy adventure unlike any other. Most importantly, let me know your thoughts in the comments. Was San right? Was Lady Eboshi right? Or was Ashitaka the only one who truly understood the solution? I can't wait to hear your opinions. Until next time, keep exploring amazing anime stories.